What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and welcome back to the Danger Zone, where today we are going to talk about the return of Shane McMahon. The pros, the cons, and the potential for disaster heading into WrestleMania with The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell. The return of Shane McMahon has created so much buzz, not only in the WWE, but in the world of professional wrestling itself, that people are talking about a wide variety of scenarios. You know, I find it funny, as someone who's been watching WWE for well over 25 years, who has seen every match The Undertaker has been in at WrestleMania, has been there through day one, up until he lost the streak at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. I was there for it all. I seen it, and I enjoyed every step of the way. I never wanted The Undertaker to lose at WrestleMania. I was one of the few who thought The Undertaker should never lose the streak. And there, he lost it to Brock Lesnar. It was done, and we moved on. Nobody wanted Taker to lose. The streak meant so much to WrestleMania and The Undertaker for that specific event. Now I find it funny that people are already booking his loss at this year's WrestleMania, let alone against Shane McMahon. You're booking his demise already at Shane McMahon. People coming at me with so many different scenarios that I can't comprehend it all. I can't comprehend it all. What I'm here to tell you today, exclusively on the Danger Zone, to each and every one of you, I want you all to calm down. I want you all to take a deep breath, take a step back, and realize that this is week 1 of 5 for this storyline. It's okay to speculate. It's okay to get excited. But please do not jump the gun on this storyline. I'm going to go over the pros and the cons logically as a WWE fan so that you guys understand where everyone should be collectively when they're thinking about this storyline. Okay? Shane McMahon has turned the world of professional wrestling upside down, to the point where people are already talking about a brand split. Right off the bat, people talking about a brand split, splitting Raw and splitting SmackDown, simply because a few venues out there who are hosting Monday Night Raw in May made a typo and stated Monday Night Raw versus WWE. It's a typo. It's debunked. There's no brand split. It's not happening. And the reason why a brand split should not happen is because most of you who don't know the WWE like I do, WWE is signed to NBC Universal. NBC Universal, that owns the USA Network, has Monday Night Raw on that cable station for the next 3 years. Okay, might be even less than that, but it's 3 years. Meaning, WWE Raw, no matter how we hate it or how much we love it, I know most of us don't like the 3-hour shows, and everybody wants it to be back to 2 hours, but for the next 3 years or so, Monday Night Raw will continue to be 3 hours, okay? I hate saying that. Monday Night Raw should never be 3 hours. 2 hours max. The third hour always kills everybody. So Monday Night Raw for 3 hours. You mean to tell me you want a brand split? Even when the roster is fucking healthy? The WWE can't even book a Monday Night Raw for 3 hours. They do not have the creative power, they don't have the resources, and they don't know what they're doing half the time when trying to come up with storylines and angles and matches, etc., etc. They don't know what they're doing when they have a full, healthy roster. Now you look at it, half of that roster and half of the main event scene is completely gone. You mean to tell me you want WWE at this point, after WrestleMania, when Rollins is not due back, Cena is not supposed to be back, Cesaro's not going to be back, Tyson Kidd's not going to be back, Randy Orton's not going to be back, right? Brock Lesnar's probably taking a hiatus until SummerSlam, Undertaker's not going to be there, Daniel Bryan's retired. You mean to tell me you want WWE to split the rosters right now after WrestleMania, depleted in all, to do a brand split? And then continue to do Monday Night Raw for 3 hours? That doesn't make any sense logically, people. I want you to think about this. Why would you do that? I understand the draft is an exciting outcome, and it's exciting to see wrestlers put over here and over there and on separate shows. I understand that. A draft lottery is supposed to create excitement. But I don't want you to be blinded by excitement over logic. Okay? And people are already stating Shane McMahon could take over Raw, Triple H could take over SmackDown, and Triple H can take NXT guys and put them on SmackDown. I understand where you're coming from. Believe me. I want the Sandows and the Nevilles and the Tyler Breezes and the Kalistos. I want the Ascensions and all these guys who do not get TV time. The Damian Sandows, the Mizes. I want all these guys to get TV time. Believe me. But this is not the way to do it. WWE should realize the talent that they have, and they should be booking accordingly. You don't need to split the rosters in half. It's not going to work. And as far as NXT goes, this is the other alternative that you have. Go out and buy the network and watch NXT. Triple H having SmackDown and being in control of SmackDown and plucking everybody from NXT is not going to do any good. Because you need a plan for these guys. You need storylines for these guys to debut them on the main roster. You mean to tell me you're going to pluck all these guys from NXT, split the rosters in half that's already decimated with injuries, and you're going to deplete NXT? Well, NXT is your best show. NXT is your number one brand as far as I'm concerned in the WWE. Why are you going to deplete that entire roster by pulling a Zayn, a Joe, a Balor, a Corbin? Why? Why? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You're going to pull a Bayley for what? What are you pulling them for? You're pulling them for immediate failure on the main roster? You're going to pull them simply to fill roster holes that have been left by your main event guys, Rollins and Cena and Orton? No, that doesn't work that way. On top of that, WWE back in the day never fully embraced a brand split. They never really embraced what it could potentially be. They added title on top of title on top of title, making the titles that they already had worthless. You mean to tell me you guys want another world champion, another mid-card champion, another tag team champion, another women's champion? They don't have the roster to do this right now. With Monday Night Raw being 3 hours, I could dead this argument right then and there. It doesn't make any sense. Split pay-per-views, split titles. WWE, if they want to do this, okay? If they want to do this, they need to sit down and not rush. They need to put the pieces to the puzzle where they need to be, and you can't get this done in 5 weeks. It's not going to happen after WrestleMania. If this is something the WWE wants to do, this needs to be discussed for next year or the year after that. When people are in place, when people are established, and people know their roles on the main roster. And possibly when everybody's back, away from injury and completely healthy. The split roster thing, discussion is dead. Don't even talk about it. There's more negatives to that than positives. You guys are thinking about, I want to see this guy on SmackDown. I want to see the mid-card guys, the guys that aren't getting attention to be put in the spotlight. Yeah, so do I. But splitting the rosters is not going to do that. Because remember, at the end of the day, you have to make your main show right. 3 hours of Monday Night Raw would be even worse with a split roster. Monday Night Raw should be your main concern. Never mind splitting the rosters. Monday Night Raw is in desperate need of help. It is a sinking ship week after week after week. You know this, I know this, the WWE, I hope knows this. It's a sinking ship. Your number one priority should be making Monday Night Raw the show that we know it could be. Never mind splitting the rosters. That's where it needs to be. That should be WWE's top priority. Done. I don't want to hear about another brand split, period. Because I'm not for it, and I'm seeing it through clear eyes. It's illogical, and it doesn't make any sense right now. Forget the excitement. Forget the Nevilles and the Breezes and the Ascensions and all those guys that you think should be pushed. They should be pushed on TV right now. You don't need a brand split to do that. Okay? Think logically over being excited. That's all I have to say about that. Shane McMahon back in the WWE. Okay? The pros and the cons to this, there's positives and negatives, and I want you guys to take a step back because you're driving at 150 miles an hour, and you're not thinking clearly about everything that's in front of you. We have nothing that's in front of us. We know nothing. Undertaker is going to be on Monday Night Raw this coming Monday, okay? I want you guys to take a step back and wait. Take a deep breath and wait. Let's see what The Undertaker has to say. People are coming up with situations and scenarios, and you're booking The Undertaker's demise. You already handed the fucking reins to Monday Night Raw over to Shane McMahon, and we got 5 weeks left till WrestleMania. That is illogical, guys. You have to take a step back. This is what we wanted. We wanted intrigue, and we wanted WrestleMania to be interesting. I can appreciate what Vince McMahon has done here. He went outside the box and took a risk, booking his son against The Undertaker. Right now, that is the scheduled match inside Hell in a Cell. But there is positives and there is negatives to this match. Okay? Gonna go over the positives. There's more negatives to this than there are positives. The positives. Undertaker, WrestleMania, Hell in a Cell. He's in his comfort zone with two of those things, WrestleMania and Hell in a Cell. Okay? He knows how to tell a good story. Undertaker is one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. Probably the best WrestleMania performer of all time. He knows what needs to be done in the ring to tell a good story. He doesn't need to go in there and stress about putting on a 5-star WrestleMania 25 Classic with Shawn Michaels. He can go in there, be easy, tell a good story. He doesn't have to be hampered down with putting on a 5-star match, 30-minute classic. He doesn't have to worry about that. He can tell a good story, and he's going to make Shane McMahon look good. No matter how much ring rust Shane McMahon has, he's going to tell a great story, and Shane McMahon is going to look like $1 million because he's in there with The Undertaker. Number one. Number two, I don't doubt for a second this match is going to be a fucking classic. This match, nothing about this match will be bad. Nothing. Because it's the spectacle of WrestleMania. We're all going to be excited. It's going to be Hell in a Cell. It's going to be The Undertaker. Nothing about that is bad. Okay? It's exciting. It's interesting. And it's fresh. Shane McMahon knows what's best for business. He's going to be training to get into the best shape of his life. He's 46 years old. He looks money. Okay? He's going to put on a great match. Shane McMahon is a great athlete. He's never had one bad match in his entire WWE tenure. He knows what needs to be done. And I guarantee you, Shane McMahon is going to pull out all the stops because it's WrestleMania. It's the biggest attending WrestleMania of all time. It's Dallas, 100,000 people, AT&T Stadium. Shane McMahon is going to leave your jaw dropped by the end of the night. I predict that. So right there, I know for a fact these two in the ring are going to create magic. That's it. Okay? And the cons and the negatives to this match are more so, and they're outweighing the positives. It doesn't really make any sense. Like I said, we all have to wait to see what The Undertaker has to say. You know, right now, the way the story goes, Undertaker hasn't even said yes to this match. He hasn't agreed to terms with Vince McMahon. Undertaker could come out on Monday Night Raw for all we know and say, screw you, Vince. I don't want to be a part of this. You're doing something and forcing me to do something against my will. I say no. You know, that opens the door for a potential alignment with Shane McMahon. He can pick a wrestler of his choosing to go against someone chosen by Vince McMahon for control of Monday Night Raw. Whether that's John Cena, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Boogeyman, I don't give a shit who it could be, man. It opens up the potential for someone to slide right on in there, like a John Cena, you know, and we can still get that John Cena versus Undertaker match. So that's a potential scenario as well. A lot of people are predicting The Undertaker's demise and wanting Shane McMahon to be in control of Monday Night Raw, whether he's back for good creatively or if it's just going to be an on-air character. This creates freshness for the WWE product and Monday Night Raw. But if you book Shane McMahon to go over The Undertaker at WrestleMania, that will certainly diminish, at least somewhat, of The Undertaker's legacy at WrestleMania. Undertaker doesn't have many matches left. He doesn't have many years left in the WWE before he fully calls it quits, okay? Before he hangs up that hat and walks away off into the sunset. Do we really want one of The Undertaker's lasting memories for us to be a loss to Shane McMahon at WrestleMania? That could potentially damage The Undertaker's legacy. Now, I, for one, don't mind The Undertaker losing. I don't. If it's for the good of the storyline, I don't mind it. The streak is done. I don't mind if The Undertaker retires with 2 losses at WrestleMania. If the story being told is right and makes sense and is logical, and we see something happen in a screwjob fashion that progresses this storyline for the remainder of 2016 and only gives us intriguing quality television, I am all for it. But a lot of people right now are upset about this because of the potential of Shane McMahon beating The Undertaker 1, 2, 3 and diminishing some of his legacy at WrestleMania. That is something that people are talking about and are concerned with. And finally, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon. Right now, this is going to be the biggest storyline on WWE television going into WrestleMania. To me, WrestleMania has always been about the one-on-one main event WWE Championship. That, by default, should always be the main story going into WrestleMania. This year, the McMahons have to pretty much remind you that they are still number one over everybody in the WWE. You've built Roman Reigns up for months and months and months and months, trying to get him back in the good graces of WWE fans, trying to make him look strong, going into a match with Triple H for the WWE Championship. By default now, that Shane McMahon is back on television, feuding with his father and his sister. The entire McMahon clan is back in the main event. By default, this pushes Roman Reigns and Triple H down a peg and is not the most important thing on WrestleMania now. So you got to understand that WWE is harming somewhat the WWE Championship picture and the main event scene going into WrestleMania because they have to constantly remind you that they are the most important thing on WWE television, especially now with Shane being back in a Hell in a Cell against The Undertaker at WrestleMania. So what would you rather want? A WWE Championship match that we fully are invested in and fully care about, or a secondary storyline for the power struggle of Monday Night Raw? You let me know, because I know for a fact, deep down, I want that Daniel Bryan type situation where the WWE Championship, the chase, and the main event is the most important thing to close WrestleMania, okay? Now, as far as the scenarios to end this video, because I went on long enough, hopefully I made sense. For the scenarios that everybody is talking about, the possible scenarios for Hell in a Cell, I'm going to throw a few out there. You let me know what you guys like best, okay? Stone Cold Steve Austin has been asked for years when he's coming back to the WWE. This could be an entrance into the WWE again at WrestleMania. He could be appointed a special guest referee, ultimately screwing Vince McMahon one final time and give the company and Monday Night Raw to Shane McMahon. You could also insert Shawn Michaels. Remember, Shawn Michaels has never beaten The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He failed in his attempt twice. Undertaker forced him to retire per stipulation. Shawn Michaels can be appointed the special guest referee and finally get his revenge on The Undertaker by super kicking him, leaving Vince McMahon without Monday Night Raw and handing the keys to the kingdom and Raw over to Shane McMahon. But again, that might not make sense because Shawn Michaels is best friends with Triple H, and there might be something there that doesn't make any sense logically. But it is a possibility, okay? My favorite option is that Shane McMahon was overseas in Japan. He probably had ties to Japan, okay? He was over there in China doing his cable TV thing, bringing pay-per-view to China, etc., etc. I don't know exactly what he was doing over there, but he was running business and doing his thing over in China. He could potentially have ties to Japan. Remember, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows are now going to be signed to the WWE. Both have cleared medical testing. Both, by this time, will have contracts to the WWE. Does Shane McMahon bring in the outsiders from New Japan to screw over Vince, screw over The Undertaker, rebirth of the Bullet Club on Monday Night Raw? Shane McMahon now has control of Monday Night Raw, and we see a new power in the WWE forming with the Bullet Club. That is also a potential scenario that could happen. Finally, a lot of people are mentioning Sting. This could be Sting's entryway into a feud with The Undertaker. Sting could finally again screw the Authority and Vince McMahon one final time by Scorpion death-dropping The Undertaker, giving Shane McMahon the victory here. And this could potentially set up a retirement match for both men at WrestleMania 33. And we can have a year-long build for The Undertaker and Sting at WrestleMania by Sting interfering in this match and costing Vince Monday Night Raw and helping Shane to a victory. Those are the scenarios. Those are logical. Those are to be, thought of and have fun with. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments. I'm JD. Let me know what you think of the video. I want you guys ultimately to take a step back, take a deep breath, and let's wait for Monday Night Raw. We all ask for WrestleMania to be exciting, and WWE has done something that they have not done in months. And I stress that, months. They've made Monday Night Raw interesting, and they've made you and me want to tune into Monday Night Raw to see the next chapter of this story. That's all I ask as a wrestling fan. I'm JD. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to The Danger Zone. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more great WWE content and great WWE 2K16 live streams for Universe Mode, man. I'll be back soon right here in The Danger Zone. Thanks to Chris and Michelle. Again, I'll talk to you guys very soon.